Before we get started, this podcast was sponsored by Sorak Azaraled. This man is a really cool dude. You know, it's almost fun to say his name backwards. De La Rosa Carlo. And thank you for Sorak Azaraled for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into the podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at Mussolini and the rise of fascism. We will be specifically looking at the life of Mussolini and where he stands in this time, and how fascism will be a role in World War II. Today I am joined by a special guest, Antonio Seja. Why don't you say hi to the audience?
Hi.
So, Antonio, what do you know so far about Mussolini?
Basically, I know that in 1902 he moved from Italy to Switzerland to avoid doing military service, but he gets arrested, deported back to Italy twice to end up doing military service in his second arrest.
Oh, and did you know during that time he got big into nationalism and started to work for a socialist newspaper as a writer?
I thought he worked as a teacher after his arrest and deportation.
Well, yes, he did become an elementary teacher after his second arrest, but then he was like, darn, I hate these kids. Then he quits and goes back into being a writer for the socialist paper.
What a strange backstory.
Well, Hitler had it a lot worse, but that's for another time.
And I didn't know, but before Mussolini was actually the creator of fascism. So he becomes pro-war, and he saw the good effects of a war, and he tries to become the prime minister.
Basically, he went up to the king of Italy and was all like, make me prime minister. Then the king was like, you and what army? Then he sees the whole socialist party, and he's like, yeah, you can have that.
Then the world has its first fascist dictator. Fascism first started in Italy during World War I, when Italy was being affected by fascism before spreading to other European countries, with Germany and Italy being the biggest, with Mussolini and Hitler being leaders of both countries.
Exactly. Yeah, Germany, Italy, and Japan were allies and felt the same way between all the good allies.
Oh yeah, in 1941, Italy loses its empire, which sparks the downfall of Mussolini's reign, since everyone saw him as weak and power-hungry, and everyone was starting to lose faith in him.
Exactly. To redeem himself, Mussolini started copying what Hitler was doing and tried to take over countries in Africa, but was defeated by British forces.
When Hitler saw what was happening, he was distraught and knew that this would happen, and sent troops to help Italy with their fight. Hitler was very disappointed in Mussolini and told him to stop being power-hungry and take action.
At this point, everyone was against Mussolini and was voted out by his own fascist Grand Council and was toppled over from power. And in all this, Hitler, his quote-unquote friend, wasn't even surprised, so he sent backup to Italy for an operation called Operation Axis. Well, that was pretty much it for this podcast. Thank you for Sorak for sponsoring this video. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.